Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma for those of you who are new, and I would love it if you guys subscribed, stuck around. Today's video, as you can tell by the title, we are finally, after over a year of me having this on my bookshelf. There's sirens, of course. One moment. What the heck? If you've been around for a while, if you've been subscribed for a while, if you've been a member of my channel for a while, you know that I hauled this book about a year or so ago, and it has literally been sitting on my bookshelf, been on my physical TBR for about a year now, and we are finally reading it, as you can tell by the title. We are finally reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. So yeah, I'm so excited for this video. I started this yesterday and I got to page 95, so we're starting chapter 11. I went on a road trip yesterday. I'll insert those clips here, and I started it and didn't get around to reading much because we were sort of just shopping around all day, and by the time we finally headed home it was dark outside. So I'm excited to sit down and cuddle up with this book today. Probably won't finish it today, but we shall see. We're already almost 100 pages in, and this only has like a little over 400 pages. A lot of exciting stuff has already happened, but I feel like chapter 11, it's gonna start picking up a little bit more. I haven't read enough to say if this is going to turn me into a fantasy girly. We shall see, but I am loving it so far. This is the first fantasy I've picked up in a really long time. If you know me, you know I'm a romance girly through and through, but I can't remember the last time I picked up a fantasy. So I feel like I'm getting back to my roots with this book, and I'm so excited. I feel like I'm definitely gonna really love this book just from the first 100 pages. And if I do, once we finish it, you'll see my thoughts. And I'm definitely gonna go order the box set on Target or Amazon. But I'm about to make lunch and then probably gonna make some hot chocolate because it's snowing outside and it's gloomy, and I'm just ready to have a cozy day, and we'll probably just read around the apartment, and I will keep you guys updated as things happen. I haven't decided if this is gonna be a spoiler-free reading vlog. I feel like I think it's gonna be spoiler-free as I'm reading it, but we'll see if I end up putting in spoilers at the end of the video. If I do, I'll let you guys know in the description, and I'll pin a comment down below, and I'll let you know in the video where you can skip to if you've already read the book and you want to see like with spoilers. But I think throughout the video we're gonna do spoiler-free. So as of right now, I think right as chapter 11 goes, this isn't a spoiler, but Farah, I think that's her name. Is it Farah or Farah? Please let me know. I think like a couple pages into the book it said the pronunciation of her name, but I'll have to look it up. She has been taken into the Prithian realm, the world, with Tamlin. We've met Lucian, we've met Tamlin, and we've met, I think it's Alice or Elise. And I'm just really intrigued, like why are they wearing masks, like all of that sort of thing. So excited to see. I'm kind of like, I love Tamlin right now, but I feel like something's gonna happen where like he betrays our trust. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat lunch, and then we will get into reading here in a little bit. Without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and stop talking, and let's just go ahead and get into this reading vlog. I'm so excited to see how far I get today. Yeah. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. Feyre's just had a breakthrough. Page 106, 107. I feel like it's a turning point. Please ignore the lighting in the apartment. I'm gonna change to my other chair here in a little bit, so the lighting should be a little bit better. But I just made some hot chocolate and I brought in some little Trader Joe's cookies, and I'm gonna continue reading. I didn't read too much. I only got to page 150. I'm on chapter 17 now. But I talked to Sid for a little bit and watched a couple YouTube videos, but now I'm just gonna drink my hot cocoa and continue reading. I absolutely love it so far. The last chapter just ended with Feyre and Tamlin having a little moment, but there's still something like deep in my gut that I don't trust him, but we'll see what happens with these two. It's super interesting to learn about like this fantasy world. Obviously it's the first book, they're just introducing this realm and this world and these characters, so it's super interesting. And there's like so much in the Prythian world like that are like so bad, like the puka, the bog or the bogue or whatever it's called, and it's just crazy. Like after I finish this book I want to watch like a deep, like in-depth video about like all these characters and this whole realm, because I feel like someone else has probably done like a detailed analysis on the first book. So exciting. And obviously as you read more in the series, like you'll probably get to know better. Excited to read some more, so I'm just gonna put my headphones on and let's read a little bit more. Getting spicy. I love Tamlin. I am obsessed with him. Seriously, but I know that Feyre doesn't end up with Tamlin, right? Like she ends up with somebody else in like the later books, or maybe even in this book, I don't really know. But I love Tamlin. I just feel like he has some ulterior motive that I'm unaware of at this point. But page 229, I'm like giddy. I'm like twirling my hair and like kicking my feet and just giggling, because I'm obsessed with him. But anyways, okay, I think we may have just met Feyre's love interest in the rest of the series. Rhysand, Bryce, at least I think. I have only watched one other ACOTAR reading vlog, so I think that's who he is. But is he an enemy? Is he good? I don't really know. Obviously that's not spoiling anything because I honestly have no clue myself, but I just want to know what he's doing here right now. What does he want? Hi guys, it's been a couple days since I finished ACOTAR and I've been pretty busy since then with work, and I've read a couple other books since then, but I wanted to sit down and just finish off this reading vlog, just talk about my thoughts. Probably gonna give you guys some spoilers, so I want to get this reading vlog edited and uploaded for you guys, so I thought I would go ahead and sit down and tell you my thoughts right now. Disclaimers, 2 little disclaimers. The lighting outside is really weird, so the lighting is gonna keep changing. I'm very sorry. I'm also filming on my newer camera that I don't use very often, but I'm trying to make myself use it because I see other people who use this camera and their video quality looks so good, and I have it sitting just on my bookshelf back there, so I might as well just use it because I paid good money for it. So, second disclaimer. Also, I'm gonna give you guys some spoilers, not right this second, but I'll let you guys know when those spoilers do start. I didn't think I was gonna give any spoilers in this video, so I wasn't filming my reactions to things and giving you like page numbers and quotes and filming my reactions like in the moment, because I didn't think I was gonna do a spoiler section. Because normally if you film a reading vlog with spoilers, you film your reactions as they come, but then you edit those out for most of the video, and then at the end you put a spoiler section with all of those little moments compiled. So I definitely am going to do that for like other reading vlogs, and when I film the rest of the series, that's what I'll do. But until then, I just have my thoughts that I'm going to talk to you guys about, so I guess let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, I've got my coffee with me, so let's just go ahead and talk about A Court of Thorns and Roses. I will tell you when the spoilers start, but for right now, I'm just going to tell you my general thoughts on the book. So, as most of you know, I'm not a fantasy girly. I am a romance girl through and through. I dabble into thriller and horrors a little bit, but I haven't read fantasy in years. So I was going into this kind of blind, like I hadn't read a fantasy in a while, and I didn't know if I was going to like it, just because I haven't stepped out of my comfort zone when it comes to reading in a really long time. And this book is like super overhyped. Like, everyone on Book Talk talks about it. A lot of people online talk about it. A lot of people I know in real life talk about it. So I was going into it like thinking, okay, a lot of the books that I've read that are really hyped up and viral, I honestly hadn't ended up loving. So I had high hopes for this book, and I can happily say that I was not disappointed. I rated this a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. If you don't already follow me on Goodreads, you probably would have seen that if you do, but I'm so surprised, like so pleasantly surprised. I think this is enough to convert me into a fantasy girl. Maybe not a fantasy girl, but more so fantasy romance. I think that's what made me love it so much, is the romance plotline, like underlying plotline, and not even underlying, just the romance fantasy romance plotline. So I can definitely say that I'm a fantasy romance girl, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the rest of these books in the series. I don't know if I'll pick them up for February, but I honestly do want to read the second one, A Court of Mist and Fury. Is it in February at least? So I haven't completely chosen my February TBR yet, so I might go and pick up the second book today. We shall see. But I am just so excited and just so pleasantly surprised that I was obsessed with this. So I'm a fantasy romance girly now. You can't say that I don't read books other than romance, because I read fantasy too. That being said, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. If you have this on your bookshelf, if you've been wanting to pick it up and you haven't yet, definitely add it to your 2023 TBR. Go pick it up, read it. it made me cry, and I haven't had a book make me cry and feel so many emotions in such a long time. And yeah, I'm just so excited to talk about this book with you guys. So I have some spoilers that I'm going to start talking about here in a second. So if you haven't read the book and you don't want to spoil it for yourself, click out now. Thank you guys so much for watching. But if you have read the book and want to hear my like spoiler opinions on them, or if you don't ever plan on picking up the book, then go ahead, you can keep watching. But let's go ahead and talk some spoilers. So right off the bat, I thought it was going to be kind of hard to get into the fantasy world of it. I just feel like fantasy is a lot harder to get into because you have to learn about the world and the magic and all of that comes with it. But it was so easy to get into. And first off, I love Tamlin. I love him. He is the High Fae, High Lord, whatever, fairy guy who basically Stockholm syndromes Feyre and takes her from the mortal lands into Prithian. Also, if I pronounce anything wrong, I apologize. Please correct me in the comments. I'm new to the ACOTAR world, so still learning how to pronounce things. Still probably don't have everything 100% sorted out, but hopefully with reading more books and watching more ACOTAR content, I'll get on the same page. But I love Tamlin. I was so wary of him at first because I was like, what is his motive? You know, like Feyre kills one of his own, like one of the fairies, and he kidnaps her to like pay the price according to the treaty or whatever, and doesn't punish her, like just lets her live lavishly. And I don't know if she was living lavishly per se when you're kidnapped and whatever, but you know, feeding her, like bathing her, clothing her, like kind of letting her do like whatever she wants around the house. I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't know, like about him at first because I was like, why would he do this? Like, what's the catch? And so I thought there was gonna kind of be a catch later, and you kind of figured it out later, like what his motive was at first. He had no intention of falling in love with Feyre, but still, like, he was a good man through and through. I also really loved that he was trying to break like the violent streak of his like father and his predecessors. I really enjoyed that he was trying to be like a good person and like a good fairy, like a good leader. So I admired that about him, but I also liked how he just was so nice to Feyre. You know, he gave her paint, and he also made sure that her like family was taken care of, which we couldn't trust him at first on, but then like we saw later in the book when Feyre went back to the mortal lands and she saw that her family was very well taken care of, so he kept well and he meant well and he upheld that end of the bargain. So I really enjoyed that. But I don't know, the whole painting thing and him finding joy in like the little things that Feyre found joy in, like painting, and then also like the fact that Feyre couldn't read. Like, she could read maybe like a few words, and when she was in the study, I think her whole thing was trying to figure out like what was going on in the fairylands, but also like how to write a letter to her family to warn them. And when she was going through the library, she was like writing down words that she either didn't know the meaning of or maybe things that she thought were important. And Tamlin found this paper, I think, and he sort of made fun of her for it at first, but then like he literally wrote poems to her, like to Feyre, like with these words in them. And that was just like so sweet because he didn't look down on her for not knowing how to read, because like it wasn't a fault of her own, like it was just because her family like didn't focus on education before they went into poverty. And then obviously when you're in poverty, like how they were not, like education was not at the forefront of their minds, obviously, and it was like very much a privilege. So I don't know, I love Tamlin. And then like you get that little spice like the night of the ritual where Tamlin tells her to stay home, but then she hears the drum and she's just like curious, so she goes out, and then meets Rhysand for the first time, which you don't know that it's Rhysand at first, but you see it later. Then Tamlin came back and he was like, you forced me to mate with someone else even though I could smell you the whole time. And that was like the first like moment of like spice between them, which was really funny. And I was just like kicking my feet and like twirling my hair and like blushing the literal whole time. So I really did love Tamlin, and I love Tamlin and Feyre together. So yeah, I'm glad that he didn't end up being like a traitor or anything like that. I mean, he kind of was when he was like under the mountain, when Feyre went under the mountain, which the whole time Feyre was under the mountain like made my skin crawl. Like literally all of the descriptions, like the bones breaking, like the smell, like the worm, like Claire better, like the girl who Feyre had given the name to Rhysand, and then she was killed and like her family was tortured. Like the whole thing, like all of the description just made me sick, like literally sick. And then Amarantha, crazy bitch. That's all I'm gonna say about her. But just the whole Under the Mountain thing and the trials and all of that like made my skin writhe. Like I literally was like, this is disgusting the whole time. And it was just like scary. Like literally I was so enticed by it and enthralled, and I was just like so in it at that time. Like I didn't want to stop reading. So yeah, but the fact that she went back to Prythian to save Tamlin and the others, like crazy. So I love Lucien. Obviously like you're kind of like, does Lucien really want to protect Feyre and all of that stuff? But he ended up being like such a good guy and really did protect Feyre and tried to protect Tamlin. So I hope we get to see more of him. I also hope we get to see more of Nesta, just because like from the beginning you think Nesta is like a bitch and a snob, but I hope we get to see more into her. We saw a little glimpse in this book, but I'm wondering if because like the glamour and the spell that Tamlin sort of put on the family didn't really work on Nesta. Like she remembered everything and she went looking for, like she went to the wall. She literally went to the wall and through the forest to look and try and get into the fairy realms to save Feyre. So I wonder if we'll see Nesta like break away, stray away and do something bigger, like something like that. So I don't know, I guess we shall see. Yeah, also Rhysand. Let's talk about Rhysand. I am so excited to see, I obviously know that Rhysand is now a love interest as well as Tamlin. So I think according to Mist and Fury, like Feyre's and Rhysand's love blossoms. I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's, I feel like the whole thing is she's gonna get a week with him every month according to like her and Rhysand's deal, and I feel like it's gonna turn into something like so crazy. And I love Rhysand, like the fact that he was protecting her and giving her the resources and kind of like controlling her mind. He was coming to visit her, he helped her heal, like all of that sort of thing. Like I just don't even know like where that's gonna lead, but I also love him. Like he seemed like so like mysterious, like the violet eyes, the black hair, the black like wings, like what's gonna go on there? So I don't know, just the fact that he was protecting her and all of that sort of thing was crazy. And his sort of love is so much more different than Tamlin's, but I'm wondering like what's gonna happen there with like Tamlin and Rhys. Like I guess we shall see. Also the ending where Feyre becomes immortal, like it reminded me so much of Twilight for some reason, where like she gets bit and then they turn her into a vampire and then she has like these superpowers and she's like running, like I think in like Breaking Dawn, and she's like testing out her superpowers or something. Obviously that was at the very end of the book, so we don't get to see, we haven't seen Feyre's like abilities yet, if she's even gonna have any, but now she's immortal, she's high fae, so I wonder what's gonna happen. But that's all the spoilers that I have. Hopefully next time I'll have like specific like quotes and page numbers like I said, and you'll see my reactions like as they're happening in the book, and then we'll save those for the end. But right now I'm sort of just like going off of memory and everything, but can definitely say that I'm at least a fantasy romance girl now, and I'm just so proud of myself for sort of stepping outside of my comfort zone, and so excited to pick up the rest of the series. But that's that. Let me know if you've read the book. Let's talk about it. Let's chat about it. Follow me over my Bookstagram, all of that sort of thing. But yeah, let me know any other reading vlogs you want to see. Stay tuned because we're gonna have my January wrap up coming up, my February TBR. I have a huge book haul for you guys, and we're gonna have more reading vlogs. I hope I can pick up the second book here soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe. Follow me over on all my other social platforms, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye.